What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and the international break is unfortunately over and Manchester United are back in Premier League action, and this time it's against Brentford at Old Trafford, 3 p.m. kickoff. And to be honest, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not really confident in Manchester United. I'm not confident in Erik ten Hag. I simply don't believe in him, and I don't believe he can turn this around. But yeah, let's forget about the manager for a second and let's get into the preview. So, Manchester United are playing Brentford at Old Trafford, and this is the first game as well that isn't being televised live on TV. In the UK, the Man United's opening 7 Premier League fixtures were broadcasted live on TV. So this is the first 3 p.m. kickoff for Manchester United of the season. So Brentford coming to Old Trafford under manager Thomas Frank, who replaced Dean Smith in October 2018, and then he guided Brentford to an 11th place finish in the Championship at the end of the 2018-19 season. The following season, Brentford finished in the playoff positions and lost the 2020 Championship final 2-1 to Fulham. But the season after, they went on to better their previous season by finishing third and winning the promotion playoff and being promoted with a victory, over Swansea City 2-1 in the 2021 Championship playoff final, confirming the club's top flight status for the first time in 74 years. So Thomas Frank has been with Brentford since October 2018. So that's about 6 years almost. Yeah, we're in October now. So that's 6 years he's been with Brentford, and he guided Brentford to the Premier League after winning that Championship playoff against Swansea City in 2021. So in terms of their finishes, their first season in the Premier League under Thomas Frank, they finished 13th in the 2021-22 season. The season after, the 2022-23 season, they finished 9th. And then the season afterwards, last season, the 2023-24 season, they finished 16th. So last season, they finished with 39 points in the league, and like I said, they finished 16th with 10 wins, 9 draws and 19 losses. They scored 56 goals and conceded 65 and had a goal difference of -9. They scored just one less than Manchester United, who scored 57 goals last season, and Man United of course finished 8th compared to Brentford, who finished 16th. So in terms of head-to-head, if we look at the head-to-head for Manchester United did win the home game against Brentford last season 2-1. If you remember quite correctly, McTominay did score in the 93rd and in the 97th minute, and away from home, Manchester United drew that game. Mount scored in the 96th minute, and then Azure, I think the left-back for Brentford, scored in the 99th minute. So in terms of recently, Brentford did win their last home match against Wolves 5-3. It was a really good game to watch. I didn't catch all of the game, I watched the highlights, but the game before, they did draw to West Ham 1-1, and they are currently unbeaten at home, winning 3 and drawing one of the 4 games they have played at home in the Premier League this season. So this season they do sit 11th in the league with 10 points from 7 games, and they've won 3, drawn 1, all at home of course, and the 3 losses have come away from home against Liverpool, Manchester City and Tottenham. They've scored 13 goals and they've conceded 13 goals and sit on a goal difference of 0. So in terms of insights, Manchester United have won each of their last 5 home league games against Brentford by an aggregate score of 13-2, with their last such defeat coming in February 1937. Having won 4 of their first 6 league meetings with Manchester United between 1933 and 1937, drawing 1, lost 1, Brentford have won just 1 of their last 10 against the Red Devils, drawing 2 and losing 7. If you remember quite correctly, not last season but the season before, where Man United finished 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, Brentford did beat Manchester United 4-0 away from home. Brentford at home, and Man United away from home. So 4 of the 5 goals scored in Premier League meetings between the side last season came in second half stoppage time. 3 for Man United and 1 for Brentford. And Manchester United have won just one of their last 6 Premier League games, drawing 2 and losing 3, failing to score in any of their last 3. And they last went 4 games without a league goal back in April 1989. Brentford have lost all 3 of their Premier League away games so far this season, and they've not begun a league campaign, with 4 straight losses on the road since the 1961-62 season, when they lost their first 9 in the 3rd tier. So in terms of opposition team news, the Bees boss Thomas Frank has revealed that Yoane Wissa could return ahead of schedule following an ankle injury. The impressive forward is training ahead of the game, and a decision on his availability will be made closer to kickoff. There are also no new concerns for the Londoners, but Janssen, Igor, Thiago and Rico Henry remain out. So in terms of Brentford's starting 11, if we have a look at their starting 11 that they went with against Wolves, where they beat them 5-3, you had Flecken in goal, Van der Berg, Collins, Pinnock and Azure at left back, then Janet and Norgard in the central midfield positions, Mbeumo, Damsgaard, Lewis Potter for the attacking positions, and then finally Skade, I think that's how you say his name, up front, playing as in the striker position. So under Thomas Frank, usually they do set up in a 4-2-3-1 out of possession, but with possession in the build-up phase, they do like the traditional kind of very popular right now 3-2-5 formation in the build-up, with a back 3, 2 holding midfielders and a front and 5 up front. So having 4 central midfielders creates more options in the centre for them and less space between the players. Frank likes this because he prioritises playing through the middle, and he needs one player high and wide to pull apart the backline, while the rest create numerical advantages in midfield areas. They also like to go long from goal kicks, and from goal kicks usually they set up in a 3-1-4-2 formation close to the halfway line, with the goalkeeper looking to find one of the strikers with a long ball. The other striker will make a run in behind, while the midfielders will look to pick up the second ball. They also change formation as well during their build-up, and they try to create kind of new formations to confuse the opponents, and they're quite adaptable at doing this. And they try to create numerical advantages in different areas, allowing them to beat the defence and score goals. Their most frequent change to rotate the midfield is to create a 3-5-2 formation, and sometimes they also go to a 4-3-3 as well. They also play a high backline as well. Some of these tactics that Thomas Frank is using with Brentford are very popular right now in terms of other managers as well, like 3-5-2, the 3-2-5 in possession shape is very popular. Man United, of course, employer under Ten Hag right now as well. I'm not a fan of it because I think the wingers are too far out wide, and they kind of play as wing backs, and they're too kind of far away from goal to kind of affect the play, and to kind of create chances. They have to run in the field quite much to kind of get closer to goal. So I personally don't like it that much, and also it does leave gaps wherever you invert as well. And the 3-5-2, in my opinion, the 3-2-5 formation has hampered Rashford and Bruno's game this season, in my opinion. So numerical advantages is also they try to create numerical advantages against the opponent's defensive line. Their front 5 naturally becomes numerically superior against the back 4, and that is of course one of the kind of advantages of playing a 3-2-5, because you outnumber the opposition's back 4 as well. So in terms of the final third, they are a good team in the final third as well. They create many chances, mainly by attacking the space between the opposition centre-back and full-back, and they primarily do this with underlaps from midfielders coming from or sometimes wide centre-backs as well. They have many players in the box as well when they do attack. Attacking midfielders and wing-backs always look to make runs into the box when in the final third, and often getting 4 or 5 players into these areas to create overloads. They are also a threat from set pieces. I've seen it for this season as well against Wolves. They did score from crosses and corners in that game. So yeah, set pieces, they are a threat from corners, throw-ins, free kicks, second balls, you name it. They are going to be kind of a big threat from set pieces. So in terms of defending, they do like a low press. And he uses a 5-3-2 formation when defending, and they kind of set up in a low block, force the opposition out wide as well. Extremely compact defensively, and it makes it impossible for the other team to break them down and find spaces in behind the Brentford lines. They also like squeezing up the pitch, and they also like the high press as well. So in terms of their star man, I'm gonna have to go, of course, with Mbeumo. He's very dangerous. They're very dangerous coming in from the left-hand side. So Mazraoui is going to have to keep him on lock. He's a good striker of the ball, very good left foot. Last season, he scored 9 goals in 25 appearances in the Premier League. This season, he's got 6 goals already in 7 appearances, with 2 goals coming in the first minute of the game. And he's also scored more Premier League goals than Manchester United this season. Man United with 5 Premier League goals, and Mbeumo's on 6. So that is your Brentford lineup and your preview. They are going to be kind of coming to Old Trafford, and I think they're gonna fancy their chances against this very lackluster and poor, unconfident Manchester United side. So in terms of Manchester United, they're coming into this game with 2 consecutive Premier League losses at Old Trafford without scoring. The last time that happened, the manager was sacked, who was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And the last win for Man United was against Barnsley on the 17th of September. And the last win in the Premier League was on the weekend of that, I think on the 14th of September, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check here. Against Southampton, that 3-0 away win at Southampton. So we've not won in our last 4 Premier League games, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is 4. Is it 4? I'm pretty sure it's 4. So in terms of Man United's last game, in terms of our start to the season as well, and this has been our worst start to a Premier League season after 7 games ever. And Ten Hag did break his own record from last season, or was it the season before? I don't remember. I think it was last season, yeah. So a summary of the Villa game, the 0-0. Defensively, we looked good in the 4-4-2 mid-block, compact defensive structure. It was another clean sheet, so Man United have 4 clean sheets, only 1 behind Liverpool, who are on 5. Andre Onana has the most clean sheets, is the goalkeeper who has the most clean sheets in the league with 4. The wingers helped out defensively, meaning that the 2 midfielders weren't outnumbered in the middle. We didn't see the 4-2-4 press, which I'm happy with. I don't want us to kind of be pressing in a 4-2-4 formation. Bruno and Garnacho were poor that game. They were wasteful on the ball. Rashford has been arguably, I would say, our best attacker, but he was lucky not to be sent off against Villa. Højlund and Xerxes were poor, and the substitutions didn't work. And in the Premier League, only Southampton have scored less goals with 4 than Manchester United, who have 5. So in terms of Manchester United's team news, we have a look. Shaw, Malacia, Yoro, Mount, Ugarte. Ugarte is a doubt because he picked up a knock for Uruguay in the international break. Mainu is out for at least 7 games, so we'll probably see him next month after the November international break, and Maguire is also out for a couple of weeks as well. Mazraoui, Garnacho and Ahmad were all back in training after missing games for their countries during the international break. So in terms of Manchester United starting lineup, this is it. This is who I'm going with. I've got Onana, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Martinez and Dalot, Casemiro and Eriksen, because I think they're virtually the only 2 central midfielders that we have fit right now. Ahmad, Bruno and Rashford occupying the attacking positions with Højlund up front. So I really want Ahmad and Eriksen to start because I do believe they are our most technical players and want to play football. Ahmad and Eriksen suit a team that controls and possession, and we've played and at home we need to be kind of dominating possession and controlling the ball, especially against a team like Brentford. And we've played our best football as well this season when they've started, Ahmad and Eriksen, and we're unbeaten when they've started together. With them starting, we drew to Palace, which we should have won. We drew to 20, which we should have won. We drew to Porto, which we should have won as well. We were winning 2-0 that game. We drew to Villa, but Ahmad didn't start against Aston Villa, and we beat Southampton, whereby they both started that game, and Fulham as well at the first game of the Premier League season. Ahmad did start, however Eriksen didn't start. So I think Ahmad and Eriksen have to be starting most of our games. I think Ahmad is better than Garnacho on the right hand side, and Rashford is better than Garnacho on the left hand side. And Garnacho, in my opinion, is very good coming off the bench against a tired opposition defence. So save him for coming off the bench, in my opinion. So, In terms of Ahmad has created more chances with 12 than any other Manchester United player in the Premier League this season, despite having played just 54% of the available minutes. And if he's created the most chances in the Premier League this season, I do believe he has to be starting ahead of Garnacho. I believe Ahmad is more technical, he holds the ball better, and he's very good in terms of in terms of holding the ball and creating opportunities. And he's a very unselfish player in my opinion, and I think he needs to be more selfish with the ball. I think the dribbling wise he is pretty decent, but I think he needs to be kind of more confident in his play. So in terms of 4 out of 7 games Ahmad has been benched for Garnacho, United have failed to score in any of those games. That was Liverpool, Palace, Spurs and Villa. Man United failed to score when Garnacho was replaced with Ahmad. And Garnacho and Bruno must have nudes of Eric Ten Hag or something. The pair of them have been awful, but Bruno is going to start because he is suspended in the Europa League. So yeah, in my opinion also, Eriksen especially has to start this game, and he has to start all big games we play, because I believe he's our best central midfielder. I think he's better than Bruno as well in that number 10 position. He's much more intelligent and clever on the ball, and doesn't kind of waste time on the ball and kind of give away the ball as much as Bruno does as well. And he's been more effective from a deeper role than Bruno has being pushed forward. And possibly I would like to see kind of Bruno dropped into midfield. Possibly we go with a 4-1-4-1 formation as well, with kind of Casemiro in the centre holding, and then in the same line you've got Bruno and Eriksen, and then Ahmad and Rashford in that 4 in midfield. I think that could work as well. But yeah, it just depends on Ten Hag with regards to how he wants to kind of set up. I think Rashford is our best winger out of the 4 that we have right now, in terms of Rashford, Ahmad, Anthony and Garnacho. I believe Rashford is our best winger and forward as well. So yeah, I think Højlund needs to improve as well. I think he needs to offer more going forward, more runs in behind, kind of a better link-up play as well. So yeah, in terms of if Eric Ten Hag wants to save his job, he really does need to change the tactics, and he did change them against Villa because he was looking for a result. And yeah, so in terms of how do you beat Brentford, in my opinion, what you have to do, like I've been banging on about it for quite a long time, I think the 3-2-5 possession shape needs to end. I think we need to stop inverting Dalot and get him underlapping, get him to make underlapping runs so Rashford has space to work with. Stop the 4-2-4 high press, because we don't have the players to do that, and the wingers, not just the wingers are too kind of slow in getting out and closing down that space, and the opposition just play around them. Also, stop the crosses. I think Brentford, like I mentioned, are very good at set pieces. Pay attention to the set pieces. Against Wolves, the first goal they scored came off a cross. Second, a penalty was won from a corner. A corner comes in and the Wolves player fouls the Brentford player, and Brentford win a penalty from that corner. Third, it was good build-up play. Fourth was from a corner again, and then the first goal was from a cross, the fourth goal was from a corner, and the second was a penalty won from a corner, and the fifth finally was from another cross as well. So that's like 3 goals from set pieces that Brentford have scored from. So we need to stop kind of their set pieces and be very wary of when they are attacking with their set pieces from free kicks, throw-ins and corners as well. So also they like scoring off their kickoffs. They've got a nice kickoff routine which they've grabbed some goals from in the first and second minute of games, and we have to be very wary of that. We can't let them score first. They do leave gaps on the transition, so we can kind of, if we win the ball back and they aren't set defensively, we can counter them quickly and kind of stretch them and gain chances through that. So in terms of goals, we have to be scoring more goals, of course. Højlund and Xerxes are still unproven. They're pretty young and they don't have the best scoring record from Serie A as well. And they have to kind of be scoring more goals. It's as simple as that, really. I can't really say anything more than that. We have to put the ball in the back of the net. So yeah, don't concede. They scored 5 goals against Wolves in their last match, and that's the same amount of goals we've scored all season. So yeah, In terms of Man United star man, for me, I think it's going to be Eriksen. For me, Eriksen has been Man United's most best and consistent player for Manchester United. I'm not sure about the stats in terms of chances created or goals and assists, but I think he's going to be up there in terms of goals and assists and chances created as well. I think he might even be better than Bruno. Like I said, I'm not completely sure on the stats for Eriksen, but for me, he's been our most best and consistent player for Manchester United this season. Notably, the only thing kind of that I can remember that he's done wrong was that he didn't check his shoulder for that goal against 20, and 20 went and came on his blind side, that 20 player, and scored basically. So yeah, in terms of my score prediction, honestly, guys, I think it's going to be a really tough game. I'm not confident whatsoever. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a 2-0 loss. Mbeumo and Damsgaard are going to score. Old Trafford is a brothel. The opposition literally can't stop scoring. I think Brentford are going to cook us tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to the game. In terms of another mad stat, Brentford have scored within 86 seconds or in each of their last 4 league games, while Manchester United are yet to pick up a single point from a losing position in the Premier League this season. So a strong start tomorrow is absolutely vital. If Brentford score first, then we will lose, because I don't see us coming back from a goal down to win the game. So yeah, strap yourselves in. It's going to be a long season. And yeah, it's not looking good, bruv. Yeah, so that's it from me. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one after Manchester United have grabbed all 3 points, because I've been proven wrong in my score prediction. But I am being prepared to be disappointed, because at the end of the day, it is Manchester United, and they've been disappointing us for the past 11 years. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next one.